Hey guys, after the high of East versus West 12 has died down, I wanted to sit down and collect my thoughts and think about what the state of the sport is right now. And I know I was pretty hopeful in my last video talking about the highlights from East versus West 12, but I wanted to take a look at some hard data just to see if this on the ground feeling is actually a reflection of reality. Because just from my own anecdotal experience, I can definitely see that, at least on the ground up, arm wrestling is definitely growing. You see kids over here in the video arm wrestling, more and more kids day by day are arm wrestling in the local Singaporean scene. But when I go on to YouTube, for example, and take a look at the views, let's say, there is still a very stark contrast in the number of views that other people get, other arm wrestlers get, compared to you know who, Devin Laird. East vs West 11, for instance, let's see, highest viewed highlights match was Morozov versus Kadetsha, only 56,000 views, which it's not little, technically speaking, but for a YouTube page with over 160,000 subscribers and for an organization as big as East vs West, these numbers aren't exactly the most, would you say, hopeful. You've got Matt Mask versus Bordolato, 56K, but the rest you can see hovering around 8,000+, 10,000. And going back to East vs West 10, just scrolling down over here, you can see there is a very, very obvious comparison. Look at this. 5K views, 8K, 2K, and then over here 1.4 million just from the Dennis versus Devin super match. Next highest is like Todd Hutchings versus Ongarbayev, not even hitting 50,000 views. And this has got me a little bit concerned because even though I was kind of hopeful, I was kind of thinking that the trajectory of arm wrestling is going up, up, up. The reality is that as of right now, it is still heavily, heavily being carried by the name and the notoriety of one Devin Laird. So, going further back, looking at East versus West, maybe 9 or 8. Let's see the views of the highlights. So Mindaugas versus Christo, 2,000, Sandris 4,000, Trenko, 2,000, 3,000. Very, very, I would say saddening numbers, because these are the types of views that a channel of my size gets. My videos get like 2,000, 3,000 views, and I'm barely even close to 10,000 subscribers. And if some organization as big as East vs West is struggling to hit these numbers with these world-class athletes, I am still very, very reserved about, the trajectory of arm wrestling in general. Just taking a look at some of the Google trends over the past 2 years, you can see from 2022 until today, 24. Start of 2022 till right here, if you discount the most recent East vs West 12, there is barely any change. In fact, if you look at 2023 to 2024, growth has basically been stagnant. You can see a couple of spikes over here, and I guarantee you 9 out of 10 times it's going to be correlated to one of Devin Laird's matches. For example, this one very obviously around November of last year, the Dennis versus Devin match. There was a spike over here. But yeah, so this begs the question, are we going to be able to just keep relying on this one name? Or are there going to be more athletes that bring eyes to the sport? And that is really what we need. We need athletes that are marketable, that can garner a huge following. Look at these pretty interesting results by region. You have Georgia maxing out, number one place, most searched compared to the other countries for the search term arm wrestling, and I have to click a couple of pages just to find. Okay, you see Singapore over here, 31, and over here, all the way at 44, is United States and United Kingdom, unfortunately. So, hopefully, within the next year, a couple of years, we can find athletes that have a personality that people can get behind. Otherwise, with Devin Larratt announcing that he's no longer chasing that number one super heavyweight spot, the numbers are definitely going to go down. East vs. West 12, I wholeheartedly believe, was only as successful as it was because Devin was chasing that number one spot. Technically, he was the champion, but everyone kind of knew that Levon unofficially had that number one spot. And yeah, so what do you guys think? How do you think the future for arm wrestling in general is within the next couple of years? Do you think it's going to follow this meteoric rise, or do you think it's still going to stay pretty stagnant for the next couple of years, which is what I think might happen? But, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, let me know what you guys think.
The